Welcome back to another Spirit Island video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Rising Heat and some changes I would make to Rising Heat to make it more balanced. Now, once again, just disclaimer, this is just custom content. This is just my thoughts, my opinions on how I would approach and change Rising Heat. Okay, so Rising Heat has a problem, and that problem is G3, as it stands, is way too strong. Um, a lot of times, if you've watched my Rising Heat videos, I'll choose to G3 and just go straight bottom track. And the reason why that's viable is it does a couple things. First, it's giving us all of the energy we need, so we never need that top energy. Second, it's giving us more power cards. You'll realize that Rising Heat's thresholds on this innate is so challenging to hit in the early turns, and you really need to draft more fire and earth, and G3 allows us to do that. Looking at the top track, another reason why G3 is so powerful is usually if you were going to pick G2, you'd like to kind of jump over here to get to this 2 energy and then maybe G3 bottom. The reason why that tends to be bad is this earth spot is just atrocious. Okay, so, and the last reason is the second threshold requires 3 fire, and the only way to get that is to get to the 3 plays. This fire here is so far back, you're never actually going to, by the time you reach that, plus, like, that would require you to get to 2 plays plus that fire, which would be 2 G2s and a G3, which is just not realistic. Okay, so how do we adjust this? The way I would approach it is just subtract 1 energy from G3, and now we've significantly reduced Rising Heat's energy income. Basically, I don't want to say forcing, but we're going to basically force Rising Heat to get this 2 energy because this 1 energy is not enough to sustain yourself going down bottom track. Now, I know someone's going to tell me in the comments, like, no, you could still make the build work. And I'm sure if you get very lucky, draft a bunch of good zeros, you can make the build work. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes you're not able to draft those cards. And by making this 1 energy, it kind of is going to push the spirit more on that top track. Now, I really don't like when I play Rising Heat and I'm not able to hit this innate. It's a feel bad. Um, the innate is very strong, and that's why it's hard to hit. And in the end game, you just kind of wipe out everything. I really wish I could access this innate a little bit earlier in the game. Now, the way I would do that is by making changes to the tracks here. So you're going to notice on top track, I've decided to swap the fire and the earth. Now that's going to do 2 things. First, now all of a sudden I can choose to do a G2 top and then G3 bottom, and I'm going to have that fire here. That means if I get 2 earth, so if I play my 2 fire earth cards, I will actually hit my innate on turn 2. And that's something that I want to enable those strategies. So maybe, like on turn 1, I would G2, go top top, and let's just say I play, actually, what would I play? Maybe I play exhaustion turn 1. I don't even know. Maybe I play this card turn 1. I skip a land, and then the following turn I G3, and then I end up playing herders and sandstorms to hit that tier 2 of my innate. Now, this spot here is pretty dead, this extra earth here, but the 3 energy is pretty valuable. Once again, you're losing out on that energy here, and your hand costs 4 cards. So really getting that 3rd energy is going to be pretty important. So I think once you reach this spot here, you might just G2 to get to 4 energy, and I think that'll be fine. Now I decided to add an air onto bottom track. I've basically added that air and I got rid of that fire. The fire is just excess. You really don't need the fire at all. I mean, there's going to be cases where it's going to be helpful, but I think if a player is trying to max out this innate, then I either want them to play perfect cards or I want them to flex and go to top track so that we can get this extra fire here, right? And I added that air so that hitting the first threshold is a little bit easier. You could basically play 1 card that's fire air plus another card with fire, and the second air will hit that first threshold. Now, the last change I would make, and I'm not sure if this is the correct change, but sweltering exhaustion. So basically, I would get rid of the air on sweltering exhaustion, and then I would add an earth. So that would give the Rising Heat player 3 fire earth cards. Once again, trying to push to enable this innate easier. So basically what this would do is like your turn 1, you'd probably G2 top. You'd probably play Call on Herders or Stinging Sandstorm, and then the following turn you can G3 and then open up with the other 2 Fire Earth cards if you'd like, or you could try to basically take that turn to scale, I guess. So you would stop one Blight, you would let the other Blight through, and then maybe you would just not play any cards turn 2, and then turn 3 you would G2 bottom, getting to 3 plays, and then it would look like this essentially. So you G2 turn 1, G3, G2 again, and you'd be at this 2-3. You'd likely be able to hit. It's unlikely you're going to hit this threshold because the 3 Earth is pretty challenging to hit. You'll need to have 3 perfect Earth cards, but it's definitely possible with the changes I've made. Now, I've never play tested any of these changes, and so I don't know. This might break the spirit in half. The elemental changes here. I know the G3 is definitely something that needs to be changed because G3 is just so powerful. But the rest of these changes, I'm not sure if they should be implemented or not. I'm just trying to increase the fun factor for myself when I play the Spirit. And I'm actually going to get some games in, hopefully at some point, playing with these track changes. And I want to see how the games play out and if it opens up a lot more interesting combination of cards. The last thing that I forgot to mention earlier is this extra Earth I'm adding onto Sweltering Exhaustion. Usually Earth is tied to skip effects, so it's pretty on theme with the card and the Spirit as well. So if you like this video, like, subscribe for more content. Just based on the views and the comments, it seems like you guys are really enjoying these types of videos, so I'll continue to keep putting them out. And yep, I'll see you guys in the next video.